Hi everyone, this is Stephen Votino with Century 21 Triangle Group. Here with our agent, Lissette Leon. I always pronounce it wrong, so she's probably giggling. I don't know if I got it right this time, but Lissette has made the transition, or is in the middle of making a transition from having a full-time career as a veterinarian surgeon over to full-time career selling real estate. And I know a lot of people out there have a hard time with this transition and going from giving up a full-time salary to having a career with making a commission only. So she's been a perfect example of how she's embraced the systems, the tools, the coaching, the training, everything to really make that leap, and is doing phenomenally well. So welcome and thank you, and thanks for the great work you've been doing.
So it's been really exciting, a little scary at first, but it's definitely starting to pay off. So looking forward to see what the year is going to bring.
So what's it been like here? What's the transition been like? And what are some of the things you're doing to get to the closings that you are getting right now? And I think Lisette's up to 6 closings and it's got the 7th one in the works, and really just been at it in earnest for just 3 or 4 months now. So a really good start in doing it while trying to make that transition.
So being that it's a completely different career, I didn't know what kind of things would work and what kind of things wouldn't work. And they throw so much information at you at the beginning. So I tried a little bit of everything. So definitely got myself out there, did some open houses for some more experienced realtors, got some buyer clients off of that. Embraced Zap because it was the only thing I had for lead generation. Since I was part-time, I couldn't participate in some of the other things. So I did get a lot of old Zap leads and some newer rental leads that I was able to convert to buyers. And
well, let's stop right there. So you were able to take rental leads and turn them into buyers by doing what? By asking them what they're
not necessarily on the first contact on the phone, but if they were in a good price range for a more upper priced rental, I would show them the property and be like, hey, this is a pretty nice house and a good rent income, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, and why aren't you buying? I mean, you could buy a house with a mortgage payment that would probably be less than this. And so started conversations with that and made some partnered with some of the great partners that we have at Century 21 with Heather Deep with Movement Mortgage, and was able to find out about a lot of great loan programs that they have for new buyers or buyers that may not have a big down payment, and started to talk about that and got people interested and sent them information, and that's how I've gotten a few.
What I really like about what she's done, she's not been passive. She's been intentional in the things she does, and she's taking action to make things work for her, and it's really going to lead to a great real estate career. And I love the one thing she does. She had cold leads that we reassigned through Zap, and you sent them text messages, right?
Well, I tried a few things. I tried some funny emails first, tried to personalize them a little bit more, and got a few responses, but I mean, that you get 3 responses for every 50 to 75 that you send out. So I started texting, and I had a little app that I downloaded, Emoji Me, so it kind of looks like me and it's a cartoon character. So after I would send the Zap email, I would follow up with a text with a little emoji of me waving, hi. And
it literally is just like that.
It really is, and it's ridiculous. Actually, my husband laughed at me, but the first night that I tried it, I literally sent out 10 texts and got 5 responses. And
5 responses, and these were leads that another agent didn't want and marked cold, that thought that wasn't going to do anything.
So I was like, hey, 50% turnaround. I haven't had that with anything. And I mean, I'm a little behind, so I have to do it a little bit more. But one of them turned into, we're getting her pre-qualified now. One of them said very nicely, I already bought a house 2 years ago, but when I'm in the market again, I will definitely reach out to you, because I thought that was funny. So it kind of, at least got me some responses and got my foot in the door so I can keep up, with these people. And
but the 50% response rate, because you made it a little bit more personable, a little bit more humor. But the fact of it is that as agents, we often do this. We think that because we don't get an initial response from a lead or something, we don't do enough follow-up. So we just mark them cold, we just move on. And this is proof that that's not always the case. In fact, you found out one of them did buy. One of them is getting pre-qualified now, so there's 2 out of 10 that someone else threw away that's actually going to purchase or has purchased, and others that responded to you that may or may not be in the market, but they're obviously not cold, right?
Nope.
So
the other ones are actually in the rental market, but they want to buy next year. And when I started, excuse me, a lot of my Zap leads were rental leads, and so I marked them and tagged them with our little personal tags, like when they would be looking. So I reached out to them again. So all of those new agents, don't get discouraged. Like, it was crickets for the first 3 months. But then once I started building the pipeline, now I'm getting a lot of these people that are coming in and getting them in the office to meet with Heather to get them pre-qualified so that we can start looking.
And that's the other thing I've noticed you're doing too. You're bringing the clients into the office, or the potential clients into the office. And how's that going for you? Are you seeing a difference on doing that?
That's huge. The earlier you can get them to come in, even if they don't think they're ready, like, I screen them by trying to get them to get their credit score first, because if they're way not ready, then, you know, don't waste Heather's time. But if they're not, I have also been partnering with a credit repair guy so that I can give them like a 6 to 9 month plan if they need that to get pre-qualified.
I think it's great. Imagine you're buying a car and the Mercedes guy comes to your house, right? How does that work, right? And so, what mind frame does it put you in? But now go to the Mercedes dealership, and now you're on their turf. You have all these cars to look and play with. I actually always think it's a really good idea to get the potential customer into the office, the place of business. It takes some of the personal stuff away. It gets them in the right mindset, and also starts locking in that relationship with you as the realtor. So I think it's, if you think about it from other industries, it's typically what you do. You go to their place of business, but for some reason in real estate, we don't typically do that. So I think that is fantastic you're doing it. I know it's paid off for you.
Definitely. And I was telling Stephen, the clients are the same as in my other profession. Buying a house is just as emotional as, like, paying for an expensive surgery for their pet. And so they don't necessarily care as much if you're not the best person to do the job. I think they care more if they think you care. And so just developing that relationship with them and telling them, I might not have all of the answers, but with Century 21, we have so many good partners. So, you can ask Heather. I think we're on our 5th deal together. And because
I'm sure Heather's thrilled with that already.
And because we have that relationship, if we're house hunting and I need a pre-qual letter on Sunday because it's a market that's kind of fast, I know I can get that from her because I have that relationship with her. So I've done the same with a home inspector and try to, get an experienced person in each field so that I have somebody that I can get to answer my questions.
Yeah, and I love the fact that, and I often talk about this, she's utilizing skill sets she's developed in her previous career as a surgeon, and having empathy and the compassion and stuff as a surgeon. That's a stressful thing when your loved one, your pet, is going on or something like that. And buying a house can be very stressful. And for most people, it's the biggest purchase they'll make in their lives. And be able to develop that relationship and have a compassion and empathy, and being able to go through them with some emotion, and being able to relate with them, I think helps greatly. It is transactional, but we're trying to build a client for life here, right? So, having that kind of relationship that I've seen you build already, it's a great skill set to have. And no matter what career you come from, you can apply. I was a consultant. I traveled all the time. I was a psychology major. There's things I learned from doing that I was able to translate over to the real estate world. And the same with anything else you might be doing out there, or a past career you had, because I know a lot of us had past careers, is utilizing those skill sets you picked up and then translating them into real estate. So anything else you want to share with us before we leave today?
No,
Except you're just kicking butt? Yeah? I love it. I love it.
But yeah, no, I just don't to tell all the newbies not to get discouraged. It does take a few months of like I said, it was crickets. But I feel like the pipeline, I was working on the pipeline that whole time, and everybody said it would pay off. So I feel like just hang in there.
Yeah, and be intentional. Really go after it. This is not a passive business. So with that said, we're going to sign off. I thank you very much, and congratulations on your early success. And we'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.